You're listening to episode 45 of the We Got the Runs podcast. In this episode, we'll talk to Jeannie Rice, who is a world record holder, and she's part of our RUNspiration series. Welcome to the We Got the Runs podcast. I'm your host, LiQWYD, and I invite you to join me as we talk about all things running. In this podcast, we talk tips, tactics, and strategies to make every run a good run. Hey runners, welcome to episode 45. Hello, Ryan. Thank you for joining me again today.
Hello.
How's it going?
Not bad. Hanging in there.
That's good. Hanging out next to me, trying to not get distracted by your computer.
Yeah, that's true.
So Ryan, I'm going to ask you a personal question. Are you ready?
Sure.
What motivates you to run?
The benefits of exercise.
What are those?
It just makes you feel better. It's healthier for you, good for your heart, good for your muscles and your vessels.
So is that what makes you get up when you're tired and you want to go for a run? Just because you think, oh, I want to be healthy? Or is there anything that you use as a different type of crutch to get out the door?
If it's running, like, in the sense that we're talking about it, like going for an evening run or something, yeah, that's pretty much my motive. You know, I do plenty of other athletic type things. That's more for fun. But for running, that's pretty much my motivation.
Wow, I wish I could say that. That's like the further thing off my mind, thinking about
What's
my
yours?
long-term health. I don't know. I have to use something like, okay, if I go run at 5 a.m., I'm going to run on an empty stomach. And then I'm creating a negative caloric, whatever that's called, a caloric balance. So the day will
So
get
you're using it
better.
to splurge on food.
Not splurge, but just kind of, so I use that. And then I think about that the next day, that one time I go running is going to also improve my marathon time, because it's all about consistency. And for me, at this time in my training plan, to have high mileage. So if I want to wake up and it's 5 o'clock and I want to go for an 8-mile run, or if I consider not going, then I know at the end of the week, I'm not at the mileage that I want, which I need in order to be a faster runner.
So I don't have that competitive motive, because I guess I'm not really involved in doing the races at the moment. Yeah, man. I don't know how you get out the door like that. So you were going to talk about different ways to motivate people to run, or different ways people motivate to run.
Yes. I actually looked this up on the website livestrong.com, which for some reason it makes me think about Lance Armstrong. I have no idea why.
I think he was associated with him at some point.
Right. Wasn't there that yellow bracelet that everybody was running around in back in the days?
Yeah, I don't know if he still is, with the whole drug, like,
the little scandal that happened.
Yeah.
And everybody had burning ceremonies of their yellow bracelets.
Did they? I don't know.
I'm making it up.
We should probably look into that.
Yeah. Anyhow, so yeah, on livestrong.com, I read about the 17 proven motivations to get you running. And I'm going to mention a few. And if you want to comment on them, you can tell me what you think about those. So, number 1, commit to a race.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of doing it. You
spend the money,
then you kind of feel like, well, I got to get my money's worth.
Would that motivate you?
I guess for you, maybe it'd motivate to get the food afterwards too.
Okay, just to clarify, I'm definitely not a foodie. I don't even like eating half the time.
It just sounded like that when you started your caloric deficit.
It did sound totally wrong. It's not like I'm a pig and I want to eat all day long.
That's why it's actually funny. So yeah, don't take it the wrong way. I only say that because it's kind of quite the opposite of what you are.
So the committing to a race financially, I think that would probably motivate you more than me. Then again, the type of races that you sign up for, you don't really train for them because they're just 5Ks and stuff. So I think if you were to sign up for a marathon, you would actually start training.
Yeah, to a fault. I think that I don't like waste, so I would just do it no matter what, because otherwise I'd feel like I wasted my money.
That's so true. And you'd want to get the medal and the swag.
Yeah,
although you get that at the expo.
I don't care about that so much.
Yeah, you really don't, huh?
No.
I'm the one that collects medals. Anyway, so number 2, motivation is running with friends. And the idea behind that is that you make a basically date with a friend to run in the morning, 7 a.m. And when you wake up at 6 a.m. and you're laying next to your beautiful wife and she's sleeping so tightly, you don't want to get up. You want to keep snuggling with her. But then you think, okay, I really have to go because this other person had to get up. They left their beautiful wife in their bed. And that's that. So
I could add a 2.5. You could commit to a race with friends, like the relay that you're doing down in the Keys. It's a combination of 1 and 2.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so back to your list.
So, yeah, no, and I'm glad that you let people know about that, because we did sign up for an awesome relay, the Keys 100 relay. As team, we got the runs.
That's cool.
Yeah. So number 3, vary your training, make training fun. And this is a separate one that they have listed, but to me, it kind of goes hand in hand with it. Find a trainer, because I told you, or you know, because you live with me, that when I started training for a marathon and I had our coach Ron Tab work with me, running changed in a way that it wasn't all the same. It wasn't boring anymore, because you have your days with long runs, you have your days with easy runs, you have hard runs, and then you have intervals. So it almost feels like you're doing multi-sport things.
I can see how that works. What's next?
So the next one is utilize technology. People get excited, I guess, about Garmin's and foot pods and stuff.
I think that's especially relevant nowadays, because there is more and more interesting and better technology. Like even the Garmin watches and stuff, it's kind of neat because you can track things on Strava, and you basically can make everyone somewhat a competition with yourself, but also others in the area.
Yeah, so I guess, I don't know, I don't get that excited about technology, but I guess with social media and people caring so much what other people think about them, I guess it makes sense that would be motivating, because you don't want your whoever to know that you didn't run or that you did run, right? I mean, I see how it could make sense for some people.
Well, also, I mean, you get excited even about like the Nike shoes. You know, that's technology.
Yeah, I guess. I was thinking more tech, but
that's still technology.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Still counts. Doesn't have to be computer technology. It could be
good point.
Materials engineering.
Material motivation. All right. So then,
I think that's another one too, but anyway.
So, another one is that people do get motivated because they get to listen to music, or wink, wink, a podcast.
Shameless plug of We Got the Runs podcast.
Now available on all platforms.
Yeah.
Wait, everyone's already listening to us. So.
Yeah, no, it's too late now. They're already stuck.
And then another one is to get your me time. So I guess that kind of goes hand in hand too with listening to music or podcasts, because you kind of get your me time where you get away. And to me, that's a big thing, because I feel like when I became a mom, all of a sudden you go from having all this time to yourself to really not. And so I remember running with Liana when she was a baby with a stroller. And then you asked me if I wanted to get a double stroller when I had Kai.
Wait, how many times did you run with Liana in a stroller?
I mean, I didn't run that much back then, but I did.
Was there one time?
No, I did do an 8-mile.
Who was the one that ran with the stroller all the time? Who refused to run with the stroller? Let's get this accurate for your fans.
You did.
Who did like 2 half marathons with a stroller?
You did. But there were some times when you have a little baby and you try to go.
That's fine I don't mind doing it, but I would say, hey, why don't you just go for a run? And you're like, oh, I can't run. I got Liana. Oh, I got two half marathons. It's not that hard.
Okay, well, whatever. So
change the topic, right?
Change the topic, but going back, I do want to talk about me time, because I love having this time to myself without having to push any kind of stroller.
It is easier, yes.
Yeah, and you just have quiet and peace, and it's just you. So it's kind of nice. Another one that they say is visualization. There's a lot of big stuff about visualization online, and they're talking about visualizing the finish line of every run every day. If you go,
I feel like that would just discourage me to visualize the finish line at the beginning of a race.
Really?
I don't know. I do. I understand. I've heard that multiple times. Like,
what about on your run? If you go for a 3 mile,
maybe visualize the whole run, or I don't know. Like, what do you mean, a 3 mile run?
If you go for your 3 mile run right now after we're done.
Well, usually I leave from my house, so if I was to visualize the finish line when I'm starting, I would probably just turn right around. It's like, whoop, there I am. That was fast.
Okay, I don't think you're getting the point. The point is to visualize either when you get home after your run and taking that shower and getting clean, or visualizing the end of your training plan. You put in all these weeks, 16 weeks of training really hard for your marathon, and then visualizing finishing and being done with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A little bit more?
I just like teasing you.
I know, you do. So anyhow, today we're going to talk to Jeannie Rice, and she is a lady in her 70s that is holding the world record for the marathon and half marathon for her age group. Her current half marathon time is a 1:38, and her full marathon time is a 3:27. She's super nice, super amazing. Tells us her story, how she didn't start running until she was 35 because she had come back to America and gained some weight and wanted to just basically do it for weight loss, and then just kind of fell into it. Now she runs, 50, 60 miles a day. That's
motivating, is to be able to do it, for such a large part of your life. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and her finishing time is really crazy too, because at 3:27, there's not that many people that can do that anyway. But then for her to be, grandma and running with her granddaughters, that's really cool.
That is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fast. Even for like young people, unless they're actually,
really trying.
Yeah, professionals or, really into it. That's still really fast, which is cool.
Yeah. So without any further ado, here is our interview with Jeannie. All right, I'm here with Jeannie Rice. Jeannie, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and also how you started running?
Okay. My name is Jeannie Rice. I am from Cleveland, Ohio, but I live in Naples during the winter. And I am 72 years old. And I do have 2 sons and my 2 granddaughters. And they're all a little bit of runner, but not like I do. And I started to run age 35, just to lose few pounds. That's how I started. And then, of course, I'm hooked.
You're being a little bit modest here because you're also a current world record holder.
Yes, I am. I have about 7 national records, and I do have 3 world records. First one, it was 10-mile run, and also half marathon, 1:37, and then marathon world record was, believe it or not, a couple of years ago. It was held by a German lady. It was a 3:35, and then I broke that record by 7.5 minutes. And I did 3:27 in Chicago, 2018. And a year later, 2019, I went to Berlin Marathon, and I broke my own record by 3 minutes. So right now, I broke my own record, so I am holding record 3:24.
That's amazing. That's so awesome. So you were mentioning that you didn't start running till age 35. How so? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh, sure. I was always active, doing exercise, but never ran. And I gained after I came back from my vacation. I was born in Seoul, Korea. So I went to visit, and I came home 3 weeks later. I gained like 5-6 pounds, something like that. So I wanted to lose that weight right away. So I started jogging in my neighborhood without even running shoes. And then a friend of mine talked me into our first race, 5-mile race, local race. And she was a runner. And she came in third, and I was in right behind. I was fourth. That was my 35 years old when I was 35. So I thought, well, if I train, maybe I can do a little better. So I started training more, and I lost my weight, what I wanted to lose. And I became a very competitive because she was a runner and I was right behind her without much training. And after that, I started racing all kinds of local races. And she's never been me since then. That was the last time she was ahead of me. And I was always ahead of her after that. So I got a little motivated. So I started running. Very following year, I decided to do a marathon. So I did a Cleveland marathon. I was 36. And then first year, I got qualified for Boston. So 1983, that's when I started running a marathon. And I do have 123 under my belt.
123 marathons.
Marathons, yes.
Wow. And back in the 80s, it wasn't very common for women to be running as well.
No, not really. Even it wasn't that. Today, you see the marathons, I bet almost 50% are women. So, you're right. Back then, not that many. I mean, it's more men. I mean, there were still a lot of women ran, but mostly men. But now you see more women, even later age. And I just ran with somebody, and she said she started at age 45. She's in her 50s. So anybody can start, any age, and that's the good sport. And we can do that, and you don't need partner. You can put your shoes and then get out the door. And I used to play racquetball and tennis, and in all that, you need a partner to play. But running you don't need it to train. You can go out the door all by yourself, but I do enjoy running with the friends, though. It's more fun to run with the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 313, Saturday. Reigning light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira defends his title against number one contender Magomed Ankalaev, and an explosive lightweight bout between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Pazzi. UFC 313, Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
So once you started running and you qualified for Boston and you started running marathons and you started realizing that you were a pretty strong runner, when did you decide to go for it and really start training? Because it seems like in the beginning, you were just kind of doing it for weight loss.
Right, exactly. Beginning was just more like a fitness. And then once I got involved with the marathon and I realized that, I can win my division, so that even motivated me more. So I've been training. Of course, you have to increase your mileage. We all know that if you're going to run marathon, you can run 20 miles a week, 30 miles a week to run the marathon. So because I got really involved with the marathon, I started increase to 40, 50. Now if I run a marathon, I do up to 70 miles, 60, 70. But normally I do 50 to 60 miles a week, all year round. Either I run marathon or not. So I do like 50, 60 miles a week. So if you do all year round, it's like every day you get up in the morning and run. And, that's my part of my life schedule.
Right. So you've made that part of your life, kind of like brushing teeth, drinking water, running is just part of it. Exactly. And that's worked for you pretty well. You don't have any injuries, you've also been saying. Yeah,
I've been very lucky, and I have many times I, interview with the different runners world where, women's running, whatever. And the first thing they ask, have you ever had an injury? All these years I ran. And no, I never had an injury. I guess it's part of maybe genetic and maybe lucky. And, only time I get injured from falling. So I have to be careful not falling during the run normally.
Right, which is quite a different injury. And is your training guided by a coach or you're self-coached?
Well, I'm a self-coach, and I've been approached a couple coach, wanted to coach me, but I've been very successful my own way, what I do. So I help friends though. When we run together, they would ask me how I train, and I'm not coaching anybody particularly, but helping them to faster runner or marathon runner. Some of friends, I like to run a marathon. How do I increase from half marathon to marathon? So I do help them, but I do not have a coach for me.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Can you tell me about your favorite marathon?
I do have quite a few. I have to say, very first marathon I did 2000 Millennium. I went to New Zealand. That was the first marathon in Millennium. And they usually have like end of January, but that year they did have January 1st, 2000. So I went there and ran a marathon. It was awesome. And of course, countries are beautiful. And also, of course, I have to say, when I beat a whole world record, Chicago Marathon 2018, I thought that was very special. And a year later, Berlin, I beat my own record. Those are our specials. And I would say quite a few. And I went to Reykjavik, Iceland, and I have their national course record. I was my 60s then, 65 and 70, 65 to 69 age group. I had their national record for the course. So those are our specials. When you do something special, Yeah, another one was really special to me. 2 years ago, my granddaughter graduated from high school, and she was a short distance runner, like 5K, 10K, and she was not a long distance runner. So when she graduated from high school, it was a gift from grandma to her. So just she and Alyssa and I went to Anchorage, Alaska, and she ran half marathon and I ran a marathon. And that was a very, very special. It was her first half marathon. Now she's hooked. So she likes to do 50 state half marathon. So that was a very, very special.
Oh, wow. That sounds amazing, especially when you bring in family members. And do you have other family members that run? I think you mentioned that you have 2 sons.
Yes. My oldest son just runs because he likes for fitness. And he has a dog, so he runs with the dog. And my younger son ran, Kevin. He did run at the high school years ago. But now he just runs just for fitness. And my daughter-in-law, Trish, she runs, but they're not competitive like I am. So they do, just sign up for once in a while they run. But my granddaughter, I think she's going to be competitive. So we all kind of run, and they do play volleyball, and they do all kinds of exercise. But, a little bit of running. Yes, everybody does it.
That's awesome. What does your family think about your running?
Oh, it's crazy. They think I'm really, they are proud of me. I know that. My kids always talk about me. And especially when I ran Berlin, when I came back, and my son said, "Mom, did you know you beat all the men your age division?" And I didn't know that. So he looked it up, So they are kind of, proud of me and checking out for me. But of course, they think I'm crazy running so many miles. But, as long as I can run, why not? And
yeah, exactly.
I won't stop to running, and I still have a goal. So,
yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad your family is very supportive. I would be very proud if my mom or my grandma would do something like that as well. Can you tell me what the hardest thing has been about running for you?
Well, because I lived in Cleveland for years, and I still do. And in the last few years, I've been coming down to Naples, Florida. And in Cleveland, it gets cold, and it's tough when you have to go out the door when it's like single digit, or I used to run any condition, but now I said, well, if it's not double digit, I won't go out. So that was tough things to do during the winter because I train all year round. And I was not coming down here that often. At the time, I was full-time. I'm a realtor, real estate agent. So I was very busy, so I couldn't come down here that often. But I am semi-retired, so I can come down more often here, so I don't have to run those bad, temperature and bad weather. But that's a tough. And then so many times, 4, 5 o'clock comes so quick. And you hate to get up. But, that's tough. But you have to be, I guess, I'm very motivated. So if you sleep in every day and then you get used to it. And so, but that's tough things to do. But now it became my schedule. So it's not as hard to getting up early. Like this morning, I got up at 5 and we meet people 6 o'clock, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So it became on my, normal schedule. But toughest marathon I ever done was Pikes Peak. The marathon in Pikes Peak, you go up 13 mile, 14,000 high altitude. So by the time you get to 12,000, it was so hard to breathe. And that was my toughest marathon out of 123. And then second toughest one was Great Wall, China. You run on the wall like 5 miles out of 26. And that was really tough. Yeah.
It'd probably be really tough to run the whole thing.
Yes, there was. I think Pikes Peak was the toughest one because of breathing. And Great Wall was steps, all that wall, the Great Wall. But it was spectacular. I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, you wonder how they even built that thousands of years ago. So it was tough, but I enjoyed it somewhat.
My goodness, I can't even imagine. And I completely agree with you with the cold. We're pretty spoiled down here in Florida. Wow. Florida has a lot of different, crazy things that happen here. At the same time, we do have the nice weather, and it's nice to go out for your winter run, even if our cold days are only 40 degrees.
I know.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Great. Very lucky.
So what do you think do you love most? What is it that keeps you running every day?
It's first of all, it's good for fitness, for your health. And it makes me feel, it's clear mind. When you go out there, no phone. I don't carry telephone at all. So it's kind of peace of mind and your clear mind, and you think about a lot of things. A lot of times I do run by myself, which I enjoy too. And then, of course, when I run with the friends, it's a lot of fun. We get to know some new runner. Today I ran with a new runner. He's a marathon runner. He's done 3 marathons. So we were talking about marathons. And he said, how many have you done? I said, well, 120 more than you did. He's a young man, So it's really fun, get to know people. And, we share a lot about the family while we are running. Because nobody really has that much time anymore to meet up one at a time, get to know. But this is running. During the running, you run 2 hours sometime, and we really get to know each other. And another fun thing is running with the group. After the run, we go out for coffee. So that's kind of fun, get to know each other.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing how running can really bring people together, and you make the time, just like you said. Normally you don't have time to meet friends and you don't want to fit it in, but during a run, everybody forgets about time and you just go for it.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what about cross training, Jeannie? Do you do any cross training?
Yeah, I do a little bit of upper body, not a lot. I mean, especially my legs, I don't do any leg workout. I know some friends do, they do, squat and all that, but I don't do much leg work. I figure I do use enough my legs doing that running. But upper body, I do a little bit weight, and then I do like push-ups, and then very little swimming. I used to be well, I couldn't say I used to be, but I've done triathlon, short distance. But I'm not a strong swimmer. But I don't do that triathlon anymore. But just for fun, for swimming, I am a decent downhill skier. I do ski a lot. I used to anyway. Then I do golf. That's more, relaxing. When you have but golfing takes 3, 4, 5 hours when you play 18. But it's fun with the group too. Again, when it's nice out, you're out. Well, because I'm semi-retired, I'll be able to do that. So I do golf. That's not a cross training because you don't really do a lot of doing that when golfing, but you only swing your upper body. But I do walk a lot when I golf. I don't ride. When my ball's that way, I'll just walk to the ball instead of take the cart to the ball. So that's cross training, to me, part of it.
Yeah. Nice. What about your diet? Let's hear about your diet.
Yes, diet is everyday thing to me. I would say low-fat diet. I don't eat fattening food. I don't like fried food. And I don't use the butter much, hardly. Even I love bread, but I eat plain. So it'll be low-fat diet. And I do eat a lot of fish. I don't eat red meat that much. Not because for diet, I just never liked red meat in the past. But I do like seafood. And I do eat a lot of fish. And one really not very good, I do eat too much carbohydrate because I love rice. I can eat rice every single day, but I try not to. And that's only, I do too much carbs, I guess, from the rice. Other than that, I do eat a lot of vegetable. I love salad. My favorite food would be nice green salad with a grilled salmon on it. That'll be my favorite food for dinner.
Nice. That sounds very good.
Mm-hmm.
So taking everything into consideration, your diet, your training, what do you think is your secret to your success?
Well, I don't know if I have a secret. If you have a, goal, I would say to my grandkids and other friends, people, whatever your goal is, it doesn't have to be competitive. It can be a goal for losing weight. It can be a goal for do the half marathon. It could be marathon. If you don't have a goal, you know what I used to do, Letty? I used to put record, national and world record, their time. I put them in the refrigerator right on the front. Every time I open the refrigerator, I get to see it. So I set the goal and I'm trying to reach. That's that I would say that's part of secret for me from other people. Yeah, I still have a goal, even though everybody say you have nothing to prove. But I have a goal. I want to break my own record from Berlin Marathon I did 2019. I was so ready last year to go to Tokyo. So I was in great shape, but they canceled. So I am going to go this year. They cancel again this spring, but they push up to October 17th. Usually in spring, March. So I have a goal to do that, to break my own record. So I will train hard for that. So that's part of the secret to a success, I guess, I would say. So, I think everybody should have some kind of a goal, life goal, either job or lose weight or eat healthier or running, race. And so if you set the goal and you're going to have to try to reach that goal. So that's a secret.
That's awesome. I wish it was a closer race so we could come out and watch it. So what are some tips that you have for the people listening? How can they stay healthy and fit and get fast?
Well, getting fit it's first of all really comes down to diet to get it. We all know that. For fit, you will know your body and then you know how much to eat and you got to eat healthy, but stay with a decent diet. Everybody's different, but you have to set your own, weight goal, and that's a healthy way. And then training wise, you have to be motivated. Gotta be strong. So many times you feel lazy. I mean, I do that too sometimes. Oh, do I really want to go out? And if it's cold, when it's raining. But once you get out the door, we all know that we feel better. When it's done, we always feel better. And then set the goal, whatever you wish to do, and you follow that. And once you reach the goal, you have to have a reasonable goal. You can't run from 5 hours to 4 hours or 4 hours to 3.5. You got to have a reasonable goal. That way you are not disappointed. You just have a reasonable goal. Once you reach that, scratch that. I did that in my own. I put him in the refrigerator. It was a national record was this time. And once I reached that, crossed that, and then world record time, I put it on it. And then I was reaching out for that. And now I did that. So now I have my own time. So I got to reach for my own time. So it's just like when you have a goal, you've set your mind. Anybody can do it and everybody can do it. So hopefully someday you and I can run together. And then you'll be passing by me.
I'm not sure about that, but
well, you're young people, a lot of years. I don't have a whole lot of years left, but I am still gonna. When I Boston Marathon, this was 3 years ago. That was my 100th marathon, right? I'm gonna do my 100th marathon, and I'm gonna quit for marathon because marathon really does a lot of time and your body, and I wasn't sure how long I was going to be able to do those mileage. So I told all my friends and family, when I do 100 marathon, I'm going to quit marathon and I'm going to start doing half marathon more. So 100th marathon, I was in Boston, and I did, and I won my division. And as soon as I finished the finish line, I can quit, and I 3 more. So I don't know how many I'm going to do. Maybe next goal will be 150 marathon. I don't know. As long as I'm healthy and I'll be able to do it, I'm going to continue to do it.
That's so awesome. Thank you, Jeannie, so much for your time and coming on here and sharing your story with us.
Oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again, Jeannie, for coming on and for this amazing conversation. What'd you think about that, Ryan?
Her story is motivating to me. I liked it.
Motivating enough that you're going to go for your run right now?
Yes, I think I will.
How far are you going to go?
2 miles. No, I'm just kidding. I should do probably 5 miles.
All right. So he's going to get going and I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for tuning in and stay tuned for next Saturday. We're going to have a really fun podcast. We're going to talk about running parodies and we're going to have a guest that writes parodies for runners. So until next week, have a great week of running. Thanks for listening. For training tips, previous podcast episodes, and fun merchandise for runners, please check out our website at wgtr.us. That's wgtr.us. And as always, have a wonderful week of running.